Ruby Franke, hang on a minute. I forgot to put up my new Zoom. So, hi. So we watched the Ruby Franke last night, and that was weird. But you know what? Sorry. Not sorry. Let me get up the graphic that I want over here. Where's my graphic? There. Okay. Kevin is whitewashing his part in this, okay? And you can tell me what you think. I think even and I don't know who was, interviewing them in the documentary. The daughter, Sherry, was truthful. The son, Chad, was truthful. Kevin was not truthful. It's my opinion. It's what I feel. It's how I perceive it. And I'll tell you why. I'll give you my reasons why I say what I say. Let me just make sure that I'm live. Okay. So here's why I say what I say about Kevin Franke. Kevin Franke starts this thing and he says, our life, we were the perfect family. Okay? So he's still believing his wife was the perfect mother that she was. And Sherry says in this, she goes, no, do I think this is all because of Jody Hildebrandt? No. My mother had this in her. My mother was doing stuff. Kevin is trying to absolve himself. He has distanced himself. But you know what? They have a whole bunch of raw footage, I guess. And I would love to go through that raw footage and get the things that Kevin doesn't want us to see. Because there's a lot there, isn't there, Kevin? Isn't there a lot there? Because Kevin, he says he basically didn't know what was going on. That Ruby just wanted to be the best mother that she could be. And she wanted to be the best mother and get all this recognition and praise. But then he also tells us that he wanted recognition and praise. And he loved being the man in Jody Hildebrandt's groups, that she would constantly say, well, Kevin doesn't do that, or Kevin doesn't do this. He loved it. So that's just one of the reasons. But then the second reason is, yeah, sure, they cherry-picked Ruby Franke stuff, okay? They cherry-picked that, but they were making as much as $100,000 a month. $100,000 a month. And the kids then became employees in this LLC that was 8 passengers. And so they were filming all the time. They were filming all the time. And Ruby had these rules, and they were not allowed to, one time you see her grabbing a kid off the table, by her mouth and her head. Yeah, it's crazy. Or see that one there where she's got her mouth open. She was sitting on the bed. It was before they were going to church, and she was showing marbles in a jar and had a calendar, and she kept doing all those faces because she recorded her videos, right? So she was doing all these takes, and she just kept making these faces with her mouth and holding the markers so that she could get them for thumbnails and all of that. And then at one point, you can't even really hear anybody, and she just starts going, why can't you be quiet? I'm recording. She's yelling. And then you hear Kevin Franke say, because we're trying to get ready for church or something. We've got church in a few minutes. And And then she just starts screaming, and then she goes like right from screaming to just looking right at the camera again, and like picking it right back up from, so put marbles in a jar, it's great. And then, yeah, it was crazy. But that's not the craziest. If that was the worst that woman did, yeah. But no, that's not the worst from Ruby Franke, okay? But I hate to tell you, Kevin Franke was along for the ride with her. So they show that when he said he got enthralled when she made $80 in 1 month. That was like unbelievable. Their first paycheck was $80, he said. So he was like really crazed with that. And right then and there, that's a lie. You know why it's a lie? Because there's a threshold. You have to make $100 to get paid by YouTube. So right there, you know they're liars, right? But anyway, so he says, well, then we got up to, $100,000 a month. It was $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. Their numbers were rising. It was $100,000 a month. And then the kids started to get sick of it. And you see the outtakes that she has. And then he's filming, okay? So Kevin Franke is there. And it's his voice that tells the kids, this is our job. That's Kevin Franke's voice, okay? And she says to him, well, just get their faces and use it for B-roll. And in the car, the kids are all like, like moody, right? They don't want to be, that this would seem like fun in the beginning, but it's not fun now. But he was there. There were at least 2 distinct times that I heard him being every bit as controlling and everything to the kids as she was. And you've got to remember that he cherry-picked this stuff. So how much other stuff is there of him? I do not take him as an innocent bystander in this. I do not take it as that. He said when the FBI agents, interviewed him after the boy escaped from Jody Hildebrandt, and they said to him, you haven't had contact with your family in a year? He's like, they thought that was so terrible, but I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought I was going to go work on myself. Come on. This guy, oh my gosh, he is, I can't. He infuriates me. He really infuriates me. He takes no part in this. None. He makes it sound like he was never around. And then they talk about like when she's beating these kids. And I'm not talking about when she lived with Jody Hildebrandt. I'm talking about when she lived in her house. She was beating her children. She was beating them. She was beating them that there was blood on the walls. Okay? The sister Sherry said that Brother Chad was beaten so bad there was blood on the walls. Well, who's doing that? Kevin or Ruby? She doesn't specify. And it certainly sounds like it's both of them. So, yeah, please don't tell me that Kevin Franke didn't know what was going on in that house. Please don't tell me that. Because if there's blood on the walls and you don't know what's going on, in order to have blood on the walls, your kid's got to be pretty messed up. So if he didn't know what was going on, I think that he would. Right? She got him, they got started with Jody Hildebrandt because Chad was being expelled from school. He wasn't listening to teachers. He wasn't listening at home. They sent him to a wilderness program. They were going to send him to a military boarding school. That was the last straw. He got with Jody Hildebrandt. Jody Hildebrandt called him a liar from the get-go. They said he had to be uncomfortable. They took away, remember, where was Kevin Franke? Where were you when your son was sleeping on a beanbag in the basement, Kevin? You were right there. You were right there when you took away your son's room. Ruby Franke said she doesn't take things and give them right back. She doesn't say, oh, you lost your phone for a day. You lost your phone for a week. No, she takes things away for a minimum of 6 months. Okay, 6 months. She holds a little stuffed animal up and she tells a little girl, I don't know how old, 4 or 5 years old, you cut another thing in this house and I'm cutting off the head of your cat. The stuffed cat that little girl loves. She's braiding one of the kids' hair, and literally the kid is so far away that it looks like she's tugging the hair out of the kid's head to braid it. Okay? It's ridiculous. What other things? It's just outrageous. And this is all before Jody came in. Then Jody was with the son. Then Kevin Franke started joining Jody's men's group. He said the women's group looked like a bunch of men haters. You saw that. Jody tried to separate the couples. There were very bad reviews. Sherry told her mother about it, but Jody Hildebrandt explained it off, just saying things like, oh, that was just a disgruntled client. It's not real. No, it's not real. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. Jody Hildebrandt then was living out in that house that you saw the kids escape from, and she said she called up completely crying, hysterical, saying that there was like Satan in her house. And then Kevin Franke goes over there and he goes like this to the guy. He goes like, there was a huge fingerprint. It was up on the window. It had fingers like this. Guy says, can I see a picture of it? Yeah. He shows something. It looks nothing like what he's saying. And he goes, can't there be like other explanations for this? And he's like, yes, but there was a big loud noise in the basement while we were there. Like, he sounds like a child. Okay, but he sounds like he wants no responsibility. So apparently they brought Jody back because she was having the bishop come and bless the house like so many times that the bishop said, I can't keep doing this. And she said something very dark is here, something, it's very bad. So they took her to their house. And then at their house, she was, and they filmed this stuff. Like she looked like she was in a trance. It looked so fake to me. It really did. And she's going, she knows. She's mine. She's mine. Like, it was crazy. And then Ruby is rubbing her, and sleeping with her because, she has to check on her. And then Sherry says there's all kinds of massage oil and stuff in there. And they said, do you think your mother had a relationship with her, beyond friends? And she said, yeah, I think so. Or, yeah, I think, and Kevin said, well, he didn't really know, but yeah, something was weird. What else? It's just, it's crazy. So when, they told him he had to move out, he just got ahead and did it. And he told the kid, that you can't have any contact with me. Even Sherry was calling the father, and she was like, this is crazy. He was blocking Sherry. He was like cutting her off. Yeah, come on. This guy is not innocent in this. He is not innocent in this. They didn't give their kids Christmas presents one year because they didn't think they deserved it. Oh, and then Sherry says she's upset that she didn't tell investigators that she had witnessed abuse because they didn't take it seriously and didn't go there. The neighbors were interviewed in this kind of stuff. They said that Ruby really wasn't friendly with them. She wasn't inviting them over for, coffee, for coffee or having any kind of, little parties or anything. No, she wasn't doing that at all. Trying to think. Let's see what else. There was something else about Ruby that was when Ruby, I guess the video that really hurt their channel was the video where the people found out that Chad had been sleeping on a beanbag. And though, you know, Ruby erased that video, they started to go downhill, okay? And so then she joined up with the Connections, and instead she put a different spin on it, and she said she closed down 8 Passengers because her kids were entitled, and it was, no, she closed, and she said, and I was making millions. Well, no, she wasn't. They said everything had dropped dramatically. So no, she wasn't giving up the millions. She was going to Jody because Jody could offer her more. She didn't say that. You talk about living in deception. She was living in deception from the get-go. So, deception, distortion. She definitely wasn't living in truth. And, you know, they agree that if that little boy didn't escape, they probably wouldn't be alive. Sherry said she will never speak to her mother again. She doesn't believe. She's sorry. She said, I've seen too many crocodile tears. So, but I will never speak to her again. That's just what she's saying. But you have to remember, they're still in a cult. And you have to remember they are started in a cult. Okay? LDS, all of that around there, that's why they're in the wards, they're in this, they're in that. That's a cult. That's a cult. And so there's already mind control. They're already, yeah, and I hate to tell you, Sherry, I hate to tell you. I really do, hon. I really do, because I think you do see your mother and what she did was wrong, but you're in a cult. You're still in a cult, Sherry. You understand that. I don't think you do. Kevin, your father's in a cult. Your brother's in a cult. All of you are in a cult still. And so you've got people like that from the beginning, right? And they were saying a lot of these family bloggers are Mormons, and they're Mormon bloggers because they believe that going and blogging about their big families and their way of life and everything they do is like doing God's work. You know what they think? Yeah, it's just, this is just beyond belief. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Sherry can say a lot of things, but she's still in a cult. And Kevin is in a cult, and Chad's in a cult, and they're all in a cult, and the kids are in a cult. And Kevin has taken no responsibility for anything that he's done. And I think even the guy that was interviewing him was like, something. I want to know, where were you, Kevin, when these kids were being beaten? Where were you? And I'm not talking at Jody Hildebrandt's house, because I know you were not there then, and that was wrong. Where were you then? Why'd you let your kids go away for a year and not have any contact with your kids for a year? That doesn't put you on the top of the good fathers list. But who was beating these kids? So, yeah, I don't think Kevin is as innocent as he wanted to appear. And, you know, there's videos that she's filming with him where, she wants him to take this initiative or whatever. If he doesn't do it right, she gets all pissy, and then he says, okay, I'll do it right. He said that when he joined with Jody Hildebrandt, and he was in the men's group and he was getting that praise that he wanted, he said that his wife looked at him completely different, looked at him like the way he, had always imagined she would look at him, that she was just, in other words, so impressed with him as this man in this men's group, preaching to the other men, and he was so wonderful to her. So, yeah, I mean, they moved, they got a bigger house, they were going all around, they started to get sponsored content, but then when they had that thing with their son, she said she lost her sponsors, they had lost a lot of stuff, and the son said he didn't like the sponsors. He felt everything was scripted. They had to say certain things. The mother was constantly filming everything, what she was filming. If she was there, she was filming. So they don't talk about any of the other siblings, and when I siblings, I mean Ruby's siblings. They don't tell you any background about Kevin, really. They don't tell you anything really about her parents. Just that, she's... they tell you about the thing about the kids' food again, where she took that away, and then how she got with Jody, and then they ended up going to Jody's, her house, and that's where they show you the footage of the boy when he ran away. That's how it actually starts, and they show you some old footage from the 8 passengers. But, yeah, did anybody else watch this? Does anybody else, does anybody think that Kevin is just trying to be, just trying to absolve himself? They said, do you still love her? He said, yes, I still love her, of course. We go through a lot of things. I don't know how, I couldn't. So, yeah, he said he still loves her. He said he couldn't look at her when she was in court. Sherry couldn't look at her when she was in court. Chad says... Yeah, Chad said he started hating his mother. Is he the one that said he hated his mother? And then he said, well... I mean, don't hate her now or something. But he's like, I just can't. Yeah, I forget what he said. But Sherry said she cannot ever speak to her mother again. She will not speak to her ever again. What is she saying? Kevin is a doormat. It's just, yeah. He's, not good there. Let's see what I can find over here. Because I wanted to see what... Let me see here. All right, let's see here. It's a 3-part docuseries. It's directed by Ollie Lambert, produced by Passion Pictures. There's okay, Kevin Franke filed for divorce from Ruby Franke in November of 2023. Kevin Franke said, and I quote, "I think what you'll see is something very, very different than what you thought you knew." No, not really. "I want people to know that there is real danger when you place yourself or your family or children out onto public social media. There are real consequences associated with that." Oh, thanks, Kevin. Yeah, there. Yeah, you're not. You have no. Boy. "And I want people to know to just be careful with who they choose to follow, with who they choose to put on a pedestal, and to put their faith in, put their trust in, because if you put your trust in the wrong person, it can have massive consequences in your life." Really? There was something he said, and I did write it down. Where did I write that down? Because I said something about what he said, and hold on, let me see if I have it here. Oh, here it is. Kevin Franke. He said, "This is a story of love, hope, family, deception and control, and ultimately faith. And if you put your faith in the wrong hands, you can lose everything." And I said, yeah, Kevin, no. Because he said, this is a story of deception and control. Where was he? He was there. Stop acting like he wasn't there. Really, it's unbelievable that this man wants to act like this. Let's see here. The docu-series contextualizes the so-called bad behavior about Chad, okay? Jody Hildebrandt, a therapist who had her license suspended in 2012 after she reportedly told Mormon church leaders about a patient's pee addiction through the recommendation of a family friend who attended Hildebrandt's Connections curriculum. The Frankes hired Hildebrandt to counsel teenager Chad Franke, who had been acting out at home and school. The docuseries contextualizes the so-called bad behavior. As Chad got older, he recalls, he began to push back against being filmed for 8 passengers, saying that the incoming brand deals made him feel controlled and everything was scripted. And he wasn't alone in those feelings. The kids started to complain about everything. Kevin told the filmmakers, recalling how they would claim to be bored and say they didn't want to film. Concerned that the kids were losing their light, Ruby leaned harder into Hildebrandt's hardline teachings on family discipline. The docuseries reports that Hildebrandt was divorced and estranged from her own children. Great person to be taking advice from, right? As the Frankes started doing weekly counseling sessions with Hildebrandt, Ruby began training as a coach in Connection. She and Hildebrandt also posted to an Instagram account called Moms of Truth. Meanwhile, Sherry started to research Hildebrandt online and found that the counselor had lost her therapy license and was the subject of numerous complaints by patients, former patients. Ruby shrugged off the concerns, believing Hildebrandt had been sent to the family for a reason. In August of 2021, Hildebrandt moved in with the Frankes. Right? We heard all about that. Went into the bedroom. Ruby started sleeping in there. Jody started speaking in voices. They started performing exorcisms on her. Kevin was joining in on that business too, okay? He was all there for all of that. Sherry was told to get her stuff out of the apartment, out of her room, because that they were having Jody move in. Let's see. After Kevin moved out, YouTubers, viewers, and neighbors began to voice concern about what might be happening in the Frankes' house. Ruby appeared to be spending more and more time at Jody's house and Ivan's, leaving the young kids whose ages were between 9 and 15 alone. Sherry was still in touch with neighbors. She called the police, asked for a welfare check. However, police were unable to enter the Franke home without a warrant. Neighbors frequently tried to contact Kevin, who was unresponsive, and even blocked their numbers on occasion. Great, Kevin. So how would he explain about that? See, the great guy, Kevin. Great guy, Kevin. Okay. At one time, Kevin told filmmakers that he was holding out hope that Ruby would let him back into the home, and he pledged to respect her no contact wishes until that point. He even continued to attend the weekly online connections groups led by Hildebrandt. When Ruby and Jody were arrested, Ruby called Kevin after a year of not speaking with him, asking that he pick up the two youngest children at the police station, framing it as a way to redeem himself. Ruby told Kevin that the two youngest children were demonically possessed and that she could only imagine the lies the younger son was telling the police. Upon searching Hildebrandt's home, he said everything was empty and he was walking in there, it was messy, and they said, look, they were packing to leave, right? Police found rope, handcuffs, medical gauze, and a mixture of cayenne pepper and honey in a safe room. They also found a handwritten journal where Ruby had chronicled the day-to-day series of events as she tried to exorcise her children. Meanwhile, Ruby's son escaped, told officers that he and his sister had been forced to stand in the hot sun, tied down to weights, and forced to jump on a trampoline all day. At times, they were driven into the desert and forced to run. Both Ruby and Jody pleaded guilty to 4 counts of aggravated child abuse. In a public apology at the court, every time she said guilty, oh my gosh, she closed her eyes and it was almost like a bolt of electricity went through her. It was so weird. She said, I'll never stop crying for hurting your tender souls. My willingness to sacrifice all for you was masterfully manipulated into something very ugly. I took from you all that was soft, safe, and good. Ruby cast all the blame on Hildebrandt for what had occurred and agreed to testify against the counselor as part of the plea deal. Yeah, they're both, they don't take any accountability for what they did. I mean, it's okay to watch, but I think Kevin's trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Definitely trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Right? Right? I can't believe it's only 1:22. Why am I feeling so sleepy? So sleepy. Hi, Deputy. Where's Scooter? Scooter. All right, let me see here for 1 second. I want to check something. Oh, Donna Adelson explains why she tried to flee to Vietnam. How did I miss that? What's she doing? Just going to go try to get maybe some handmade baskets and stuff? I think we went through that, but she said she believed U.S. authorities would coordinate with their counterparts in countries with extradition treaties, which could result and then being held in jail for who knows how long. Oh, really? He said go to a non-extradition. Oh, come on, Donna. Oh, Donna. Oh, Donna. Donna Adelson. What happened here? Okay, what is this about? Princeton grad accused of killing brother and cat with a golf club appears in court. A Princeton, New Jersey man accused of killing his brother and a family cat made his first court appearance on Thursday. Prosecutors charged 31-year-old Matthew Hurtgen with first-degree murder in the death of his brother, 26-year-old Joseph Hurtgen. He also faces third- and fourth-degree weapon charges for possessing a golf club and a knife, along with animal cruelty for killing a cat. During the virtual pretrial detention hearing in Mercer County, Assistant Deputy Public Defender Jason Matty, Assistant Prosecutor Tim McCann, and Judge Amber Gibbs rescheduled the hearing for March 6 to allow more time to gather evidence. Police responded to a 911 call at around 11:16 p.m. on February 22nd on reports of a fire with a dead body at the Michelle Muse Apartments complex in Princeton. Officers found Matthew Hurtgen at the scene, identified as the caller inside. They discovered his brother's body with blunt force trauma and lacerations. Joseph Hurtgen was pronounced dead at the scene, and autopsy results are still pending. Mercer County authorities continue to investigate the death and urge anyone with information to come forward and contact Sergeant Will Jett at 609-331-5010. Or call Detective Carl Johnson, 609-439-5258. That's crazy. Told you about that Gene Hackman thing, right? Elon Musk just had his 14th child, his fourth baby with Siobhan Zillis, who looks like she's about 12. How old is this woman here? See. Zillis made the announcement on X Friday, saying that she and Musk, who is 53, are parents to a second son, Selden Lycurgus. She did not reveal when Selden was born. How old is that woman? Let me see here. Okay, so let's see what she had. They secretly welcomed twins, son Strider and daughter Azure. The twins were born just weeks before he and another musician, Grimes, welcomed a baby girl, Exa Dark, via a surrogate. Less than 3 years later, the pair welcomed their third child, Arcadia. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. I can't keep up with that. All right, let's see what else we got now. Okay, so yeah, they're talking about Sherry Franking saying she will never speak to her mother. Ruby Frankie's son defends his dad on Snapchat after release. I hope every. Oh, he defends his dad. Chad is defending his dad. Let's see what Chad is saying here. It says on Thursday, the 3-part documentary series came out. Let's see what he said. Features in-depth interviews with Chad, 20, his dad, Kevin Franke, 46, and his older sister, 21, who open up to director Ollie Lambert about their Mormon family's rise to social media fame with Ruby's YouTube channel, 8 Passengers, and what happened when the family fell under the influence of controversial family therapist Jody Hildebrandt. So let's see. On the day of the premiere, Chad asked his Snapchat followers thoughts on the series. One follower replied, I think it shows how your dad was never the problem and that he was brainwashed and all he wanted was his family back. And Chad said, thank you. I hope everyone will get it. In another one, Chad wrote, people don't realize how good Jody Hildebrandt was at manipulating. And then said, let's see here. I don't see him defending his dad against anybody because I don't see anybody even saying a thing about. Okay, I don't see too much else going on there that, other than what we've already been talking about. All right. All right, let me see. Uh-oh, what happened to the word cookies? What happened to the word cookies? All right, time to do the daily puzzle. Okay, that was easy once I had it. Once I got on a roll, I was okay. Once I got on a roll, it was okay. Oh, less. Less. Less is more. I am tired. A game night? Yeah, we had a true crime night. We had a craft night before this prime objective. We did it all. We're just about ending. We're going to go into a movie night. If you're a member, you come in the movie night. Movie nights are for members and Patreons. Membership is a great way to support the channel. It's very much appreciated. We have a trial coming up. We have to raise money for our trial, so anything you can do to help, like getting a membership or upgrading a membership, or joining Patreon, or putting up a super sticker, or whatever. We really appreciate it. Or donating to the legal fund, of course. Anything like that you can do to help. It really helps. Our next court date is next week. Okay, let's see. Why am I drawing a blank here? Oh, there's no R. Oh my goodness. I can't even think anymore. I cannot think anymore. Losses. Good. Losses. Hey, what are you doing? Stop that. Hold on a minute, I gotta get some. Oh my gosh. What are you guys doing? You guys doing? Hold on a minute, guys. What are you doing? Put that down. Oh no. That's not for dogs. That's not for you guys at all. At all. And I gotta get some to eat. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna eat something. What am I gonna get? Okay. Sorry, I had to get a cookie. Did you find anything? It's all coming. I just had to get up, and now I've got it. It's all coming back to me now. I just had to come up and get a cookie. You guys. You guys. Hi, murder crows. Where's murder crows? Oh, there's murders of crows. Specific. Okay. Hi, murder of crows. Very good, murder of crows. There's only one S. Can't do Pisces, there's only one S. Sip, yeah. Sip, right. You can't, there's only one S. Epic, epic. Oh, yeah. Who's that? Who's that? Okay, listen to me. This is important. Someone was just opening a door. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna go look if it's one of my dogs opening a door. If you hear me scream, you call 911. Who's there? Who's doing that? Who's moving the door? Are you moving the door? What are you doing? What is that door? Who's doing the door? What door is that? Who's there? What door is that? Did you guys move that door? Are you guys moving that door? Come on, stop that, stop. The dog's moving the door. I didn't think there was anybody here because the alarms, the outside alarms would have picked it up. The outside cameras would have went off. And the outside doors, but I don't know, I just heard a weird door. Okay, it was just weird, okay, all right. Anyway. Well, I know that the outdoor alarms would have picked up if someone got in the house. You know what I mean? I was pretty sure it was the dogs. All right, let's see now. Now what is this? Oh, spies? No. There's no... Okay, so we still can't get this last one? Epics. Oh, is that what I was doing? I think I got confused. Okay, thank you, Murder of Crows. Self. Yeah, self. Shuffle could hurt me ways. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to bed, guys. I'm really tired. Really, really tired. Tomorrow we have an auction and stuff. I gotta get up early. I gotta go to town for something tomorrow. I'm very early in the morning. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. Love you guys. God bless. Prayers. Thank you. Take care. Have a good night. Be good. Talk to you tomorrow. Be well.